Hi, it's time for another verb of the day. Today's verb is tease, and this verb was suggested by the viewer Luis. Luis, thanks so much for this suggestion. Now, let's take a moment and review some of the definitions or the ways that we can use this verb. The first way you might encounter the verb tease means to make fun of either a person in a playful way, or maybe to attempt to provoke a person in a playful way. So you might be picking out something they've said or done, and sometimes again we use that idea of making fun or mocking to sort of understand that. Sometimes people look at different personal characteristics. It could be physical, could be personality based, and again, the idea is they're kind of poking fun or making fun of that quality. Now, a second way you might encounter the verb tease is related to the styling of one's hair. So it's when you comb hair in the reverse direction of its natural growth, and it tends to give more volume, or it makes one's hair appear to be fuller. I've added a picture in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to sort of help us understand that. So normally you would think of moving the comb towards the ends of one's hair, but here they're moving the comb in the direction of one's head or scalp. And again, it has that effect of making something not look so flat and pushed down. You might think, goodness, Katie, your hair needs a little bit of teasing to give it a little sort of fuller look to it. Now, a third way you might encounter the verb tease can mean to tantalize, especially by creating desire or curiosity, often without intending to satisfy it. Many times this gets used in connection to new products, new songs, new movies, other pieces of art. So they might give you just a little bit of something in hopes that you have this stronger desire to purchase or pursue something. But they're not going to give you any more without you making that additional effort. For now, you should know that tease is a regular verb. If you want to make the progressive form of this verb, all you need to do is drop the E on the end and then add ing. That forms teasing. The past tense and the participle form of the verb can be made by just adding the letter D, since this verb already ends in an E. Now, the base verb ends in the sound tease. Z. This is a voiced Z sound. And that means our ed ending is just going to make a D sound. We're not going to add an extra syllable when we say it. So the past tense and the participle form of the verb should sound like this: teased. Okay. Now let's move on and talk about some phrasal verbs. There are a number associated with the verb tease, so we'll focus our discussion on those today. The first phrasal verb we'll talk about is to tease about. This can mean to taunt or mock someone in a lighthearted, playful, or even sometimes maybe an annoying kind of manner. Let's take a look at an example sentence. People have teased me about my height for years. Okay? Now, this is very true. Many people see me as a short person. I'm slightly over 5 feet tall, and goodness, probably since middle school, I have had people make mocking jokes, try and be a bit playful about my height, particularly as I get compared to other people. But sometimes the repetition of this gets a little bit annoying. So this particular sentence, though, people have teased me about, is an example of the present perfect. This action has started in the past and it's still continuing today. I can think of 2 times in the last week where I had people mocking my height. Now, another phrasal verb you might encounter is to tease into. This means that someone is being provoked or inciting another to do something because they have been mocked or they've been made fun of. So let's look at an example of that. All of her classmates teased her into getting a haircut. So in this sentence, we're using the simple past tense of our verb. And here people have maybe repeatedly mocked, made fun of the old way her hair looked. And so now she has made the decision, I'm getting a different haircut because I'm tired of people making fun. Now the next phrasal verb we'll discuss is to tease out. This can have a couple different meanings. The first is to talk about separating something that has become entangled. An example of this: I've been teasing this knot out for over 10 minutes. So I feel like this happens more commonly with small children, either because of something they've been doing, or maybe how hard they've been playing, but they can get tangles or knots in their hair, and a parent then might have to spend a lot of time trying to separate those entangled hairs. I've been teasing this knot out is an example of the present perfect progressive or present perfect continuous. The focus on this sentence is how long the action has been ongoing. Now, another way to use tease out can mean to gradually extract or uncover a piece of information through analysis or probing. Here, probing might be asking a large number of questions, trying to get more details. An example of this: have you teased out the birthday surprise from your spouse yet? This is a present perfect sentence. And here, what someone might be asking is, right, have you asked more questions? Maybe you've uncovered some clues that might tell you what the surprise is or when it is. Maybe this person has gone looking in the spouse's phone or email, again, trying to uncover more information. The next phrasal verb we're going to discuss is to tease out of. You're going to see a couple similarities to tease out that we just discussed, but we'll look at some more examples. So when we use tease out of, again, we can mean that we are separating something that has become entangled. An example of this: I've been teasing this knot out of her hair for over 10 minutes. So this sentence, again, is present perfect progressive. It's very similar. What you might notice here is after the of is sort of the location of where the separation is occurring, or maybe another way to say that, describing what has been entangled. So you can see that out of her hair. There's the location. Now, the second way you can use tease out of, again, goes back to sort of slowly extracting or uncovering information through analysis or probing. An example of that: have the students teased out the meaning of this film after rewatching it? This present perfect sentence might focus more on the analysis piece of it. So after watching a second time, maybe paying attention to more details, or paying a little closer attention to the dialogue between characters, maybe they have uncovered the meaning of it. Now, a third way you could use tease out of can mean to lure, entice, or tempt either an animal or person out of a place. An example of this: the zookeepers tease the monkeys out of their enclosures most days with various treats. This is an example of the simple present. We're talking about a habit or a routine that repeats. So maybe the monkeys sort of spend their nights in a safer, more secluded space. But in order to get them into a place where more people are able to view them, they are lured or enticed by these food things, I would imagine, is what is meant by treats here. The last phrasal verb we'll discuss today is to tease with. This can mean to tantalize or torment one with something they can't or shouldn't have. An example of this: our friends have teased us with beach photos all week while it has been frigid and rainy here. This might go with that tormenting, right? So they know they're in this beautiful sunny location, And maybe they know we have really lousy, crappy weather. And so it's kind of done in a playful way again. And here, kind of like, you can't be where we are, right? That's the idea of teasing here. Now, let's spend a moment looking at some words that are related to our verb tease. And the first word we'll discuss is the noun form of this word. The noun tease has the exact same spelling and the exact same pronunciation. One of the meanings here for the verb or for the noun tease is to refer to the act of teasing or the state of being teased. An example of this: the singer's latest release got a tease on social media. So again, that act of teasing here might go back to the third definition, where we're talking about sort of tantalizing someone. But here, like, maybe a few seconds of the new song was shared on a social media platform. So you got to hear a little bit, but you didn't get to hear it all. Another related word you might encounter is the noun teaser. This can be used in a couple different ways. One is to refer to a person who makes fun of or provokes others in a playful way, but again, sometimes it's unkind. Some people really don't enjoy being teased. So someone might say, teasers are exhausting, right? And so I think with some of it, it has to do with how frequently it is repeated. Now, a second way to use the noun teaser can refer to a short introductory advertisement for some kind of product. An example of this might be, fans are excited to see the teaser for the new season. So that might happen with a streaming show or TV show. This idea that maybe you're going to get little glimpses into where the characters are or what kind of problem they're addressing. But it's, again, meant to sort of grab your interest and think, ooh, I want more. Now, another word we'll discuss is the adjective teasing. When we use this word as an adjective, we're describing something that is intended to provoke or make fun of someone in that playful way. Someone might say, I'm tired of all the teasing comments. So here, teasing is describing the noun comments. The last word we'll look at today is the adverb teasingly. Here, we're describing something being done in a way that is intended to playfully make fun or make someone feel maybe a little bit embarrassed or a little bit annoyed. An example of this: many teasingly called out the singer for singing the wrong lyrics. So I saw a report or news article that mentioned something a bit similar to this, but someone got a little bit forgetful, and here people were again sort of giving them a hard time or making playful comments, because it could feel rather embarrassing to forget something that is so central or connected with a particular artist. Thanks again to Louise for suggesting today's verb, and I thank you all for watching. Have a great day.